Can I draw using only one color? I am going to be doing the one color challenge. Why, you say? Well, it seems fun and tasking, plus I just love to punish myself. I am doing 2 colors for this video, one for each drawing. The rules of this challenge are simple. I can only use one hue or color, which just means that I cannot adjust the hue for diversity in values, because technically I can't just use like one color code for the entire thing. I'm allowed to adjust the lightness slider, but I cannot adjust the saturation slider, though I don't know why I made this rule. Because I like to do some color adjustments to my colors, I'm allowed to add a bit of pink in a lower opacity on the condition that the colors I apply the pink to are the only colors I would be allowed to use for the drawing. I am not allowed to use white and black, but I did use the color on a lower opacity above black for the line art. For shadows and lighting as well, I can only use the colors that I picked out. I allowed myself do my usual soft light and overlay layer, but only with the colors that I had picked out. Yup, the rules were as difficult as they sound. Anyways, let's get started. The first color or hue that I'm starting with is red. I chose this because it's the festive season and I was looking to make it Christmas themed as well as look decent enough for a wallpaper. I started off sketching, just hoping to make something simple, paused the sketch, added hands, and made her hold a wreath. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, I just added it for extra activity. I gave her an afro that was styled a little bit because it was like the easiest hairstyle that I could get myself to draw. I also added stars and a Christmas tree for her earrings and necklace respectively. Her dress is just a long sleeve that I imagine would go somewhere around mid-thigh and have those like fluffy fur things. The expression was a boring expression because I couldn't get myself to draw anything more interesting. It was just your typical looking at the camera pose, but I think her face shape and facial features were cute. And when I got to line art, I decided to make it look like a Polaroid or just like a postcard. So I added a box and I used the font to add the holidays written on it and just like add winterish stuff on the borders of the smaller box. I think it just kind of looks more interesting than a plain background. For shading, I used like one of the darkest shades of red that I have there, and it turned out like better than I expected. It was quite soft as well. For lighting, I also used a lighter shade of red. I usually use whites with an add layer, but now I had to use like red. I wanted to change the line art color and somehow everything managed to look right except the red. I struggled a lot with it, just like trying to make the colors look right, and at the end of the day I still do not like how it looks. And thinking about it now, funny how she has red eyes, more like creepy. But I feel like it doesn't look that bad. I wasn't sure whether or not it would be cheating for the background to not be red, but I made the inner box a light shade of red and kept the outside white. I also let the decorative elements, just like the snowflake and the tape and the star, just be like random colors. Added chromatic aberration and noise as usual, and the piece was ready. I made it into a wallpaper and it will be linked in the description below. Moving on, for the second drawing, I chose blue. I chose blue majorly because it is complementary to red. No extra thoughts aside that. This time, I started off by selecting the shades of blue that I would be using and just like adjusting it with a touch of pink. And I included black and white in the colors, although I didn't end up using them. My process is a bit different for the 2 drawings because I didn't lay out the rules beforehand. So it just kind of came up along like the scripting process. The first piece was me just wanting to make art for YouTube and make a wallpaper as well. Anyways, I sketched with blue, then I cleaned up the sketch and made the line art black. I didn't actually make line art, I just turned the sketch to black because I wasn't feeling like doing line art and I didn't want to lose motivation for the piece, so I just went ahead and like used my sketch as line art. This character is an elf and it's clear from her ears. I thought it would fit well since the skin tone is already an unnatural color. I think I'm going to make her into an OC, so let me know if you have any name ideas for her in the comments. Her outfit, I went with like a skirt and a scarf top as well last shrugs. Mind you, I came up with this from memory, solely imagination, because my brain is starting to brain lately. I'm not trying to say that using references are bad, but usually when I don't use references, I just come up with bland, boring ideas. So it's nice to see that I can come up with good ideas without using references sometimes. The shrug made absolutely no sense to me, so I had to look up a reference on how to make that work. And I also got reference for the hair, that's why it's a bit unique. Anyways, if you're still watching, please leave a comment with the snowflake emoji just to confuse those that didn't watch this far. Once again, I went with a boring expression, not intentionally, but I didn't think of anything else to do with it. She just like has her eyes closed, but honestly, nothing interesting is going on with her. I shaded with blue as agreed and did lighten with blue. I did end up adjusting the liners by lowering the opacity of the blue over the black layer, so it's like black with a blue tint, which makes it fair since I did the same thing for the first piece. I struggled with the background, the character just seemed to blend in with it, but I ended up going with like diagonal stripes and a blue solid feel. I also outlined the character in white so that she would stand out more. I wish I went about the outlining manually, but I didn't, and it was torture trying to get like the base to fit properly. It did end up not looking right, but it would have to do. I honestly don't know if I should make this into a wallpaper as well, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. I added chromatic aberration and noise as always, and the piece was ready. Here are the two drawings. I absolutely loved the second drawing, but let me know which is your favorite in the comments. This was like a fun art challenge for me to do. I advise that you give it a try, especially if you're having struggles with coloring. It's a fun exercise. Anyways, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day and bye!